Howdy partners, welcome back to my channel and happy dirty fingernail season if you celebrate. I have a sweet treat for you all today. We will be building our high tunnel and I am so excited to show you, so let's get started. This project has been a long time coming. We have wanted a greenhouse or a high tunnel or anything of that nature as long as we have lived at this house. So it's been a long time. I feel almost kind of relieved that we are finally getting around to this and that we finally do have the opportunity to build something in our backyard that can stay a little while, that we can maybe hopefully successfully grow our starts in. If you have seen some of my other videos, I have told you and confessed that we are kind of the worst when it comes to starting our seedlings. They just seem to die. It's like every time we put our seedlings out, it frosts and then they die. So I don't know if we have like a really good sixth sense about when our frost date is, our last frost date. But it seems that every time we put our seedlings out, we're ready to go, we're ready to harden them off, and then the frost comes, the very last one, and then we start all over again, and it's just no bueno. So we have been waiting a very long time to build something that can protect our seedlings. So hopefully our success rate this year will be multitudes better. That's the hope. Now, I debated cutting a few parts out, but ultimately I wanted to show everything. The reason for this is because we did make a few mistakes and I was a little embarrassed about it. I'm not gonna lie, but as you can see, this is us right now actively looking at the instructions, and we're kind of like, wait a minute, does this go here? Does that go here? You're gonna see a few parts where it's a little shaky because we weren't necessarily absorbing the instructions the right way, perhaps. But here I just wanted to really impress upon you that it is okay to read and reread the instructions over and over again until you get it. In my opinion, there is no shame in reading and rereading until you get something right. I would much rather do that for 30 minutes than to get it wrong and have to redo it 30 minutes. And honestly, sometimes it's not wholly your fault if something goes wrong. Sometimes instructions are really poorly written, and sometimes it's just on the fault of the manufacturers who did not proofread, or maybe they included 2 steps twice but forgot to include step number 6, that kind of thing. So don't be so incredibly hard on yourself. If you make a mistake, obviously go back and fix it, but some things cannot be prevented, and as long as you're reading the instructions, I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. Because at one point we thought that this high tunnel was going to be a lot bigger, and then it wasn't. So this is us discussing how tall it actually needs to be. Did we need to add an extra pole in there? No, that looked too weird. Maybe we needed to take the pole out. And what do you know? Yes, that looks much better. So discussing things, building things with other people is always good, because then you can have multiple ideas, multiple perspectives to pull from, and that can always be helpful. So we were building with this really nice man who works with our local extension office. His name is Maurice, and he was actually the one who got us this high tunnel. Someone had donated it, and we were the first people that he thought of to give it to. So we are incredibly grateful for the opportunity. We are so happy with it. We are very, very thankful that we were considered for it, and that he even stayed to help us build it and got us some extra parts, which we are incredibly grateful for. We took about 2 hours out of our day to build this, and this was with 3 people working on it together. It wasn't that bad, and that was with us making a few mistakes, so there was a margin of error. So that 2 hours was not completely full of building from start to finish. There were a few mistakes in there, and we did stop to read the instructions and get a better understanding and spoke with each other, as you can kind of see. And also we had children running around, so we had to corral them a couple of times. That was what the 2 hours consisted of, so it might vary depending on your weather conditions, how many people you have working on the project, and how big your high tunnel is. Our high tunnel is 20 by 10 by 6.5 feet, and our instructions, for whatever reason, were double printed. So there was a side for the 25 by 10 foot, and so we did get a little confused on which one ours was, because it obviously wasn't built yet, so we couldn't necessarily measure it before it was built, but we had to build it without knowing how long we were supposed to be building it to be. So it was kind of a catch-22, and so that took a little figuring out, but once we got there, y'all. We got there. This was the point where I personally started getting very excited, because once the plastic cloth came out, it started taking shape and taking form over our frame, and it just started looking how it's going to look permanently. It just became very real, and it was very exciting to finally finish this kind of next to last step. The actual last step is staking the tent down, which I did not get on film, but I promise you I did do it. But I just wanted to take this last little moment to say thank you so much again to Maurice for helping us put this together. If you're watching, thank you so much. You are a great help. Thank you for getting it for us. We really appreciate it, and we are already putting it to good use. And speaking of using our high tunnel and sowing seeds and planting and gardening of any nature, I have some videos coming up very shortly, so if you all are interested in seeing that, we build some planter boxes, we're building a coop, we've got a lot of things going on, so please stay tuned and come along with us for the journey. Now here I am just showing you all that there is some mesh within the cloth, so if we want some good airflow in there, we can open up the mesh but keep the doors closed. Overall, this is a very simple high tunnel, and I think it's going to be perfect for what we need it for. So there you have it, guys. We have a greenhouse and we are ready to plant. And we've got some other little things in the back here, some other projects that I'll be showing you guys. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming along our journey with us. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video because I enjoy you. Have a good day.